Hello, today we're going to do lesson 6, which is the last lesson in topic A, decomposed fractions using area models to show equivalence. So, right here I have 3/4. I think we all agree that this shows 3/4. This is an area model. 3 of them are colored in and it shows 3/4. Now, if I split this in half, what do I now show? Yeah. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 eighths. I've changed it to eighths, my unit, and I have 6 of them shaded. It's the same. So 3/4 is equal to 6/8. However, I have smaller units now. The shaded area, it didn't change, but the unit that I was working with, this was fourths, the unit got smaller, so now we're working in eighths. So I'm going to write a multiplication sentence that describes this change. So we have 3/4, which is equal to, at first I'm going to write an addition sentence, 1/8 plus 1/8. And the reason I'm putting parentheses around it is because I had 1/4, which I made into 1/8. So 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8. So that would be this section here, plus 1/8 plus 1/8. Okay? And that equals 6/8. So another way that I can write this, there's 3 of these, right? So I could write 3/4 equals 3 times what is this? Together, 2/8. So this is 2/8. And we have 3 of them, 2/8 and 2/8. So I have 3/4 equals 3 times 2/8. Or we can say 3/4 equals 6 times 1/8, which is equal to 6/8. Okay. Okay, let's move on to a different problem. I'm going to show you another one. Same concept though. So if I have a box and I split this box into thirds and I shade in 2, I have 2/3. Now I'm going to split this box into 12ths. So in order to make this into 12ths, I'm going to draw, it's in thirds, so I need to split this up into 4ths this way. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now I have 8/12. In order to write that as a multiplication sentence, we'll start with 2/3 equals, well, we got 1/3 plus 1/3, right? And then we can also say it equals, let's split it up into 1/12. 1/3 is 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12. And then the next one is 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12. And this equals 8/12. With me so far? Okay. So this sentence shows what I did here. First we started with 2/3. 2/3 equals 1/3 plus 1/3. Then we changed it into twelfths by drawing the lines across. So we had the 1/3, which equaled 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12, plus another 4 of them, 1/12, 1/12, 1/12, 1/12, which equals 8/12. Okay, so now we can take this and we can make a multiplication sentence out of it. So we have 2/3 equals 8 times 1/12, which equals 8/12, which is also equal to 2/3. We'll just keep going. The equal signs means that every one of them is equal. We can also say 2/3 is equal to 4 times 1/12 plus 4 times 1/12, which equals 8/12. Okay, now we're going to move on to the problem set. Oops, I kind of wrote a little bit on the problem set, but that's okay. So, let me make this bigger. Okay, that's as best I can do right now. So each I'm going to read the directions because that's what I always do when I get a problem set or any worksheet or problems that I have to complete. I need to read the directions first. So each rectangle represents 1. So I know that every one of these rectangles is 1. Draw horizontal lines to decompose each rectangle into fractional units as indicated. Use the model to give the shaded area as the sum of as a sum and as a product of unit fractions. So we're going to do the sum, which is the addition sentence, and the product of unit fractions, which is the multiplication sentence. Use parentheses to show the relationship. That's what we were doing before. Show the relationship between the number sentences. Okay. First one's been partially done for you. So let's look at this first one here. So we start with 2/3. This is 2/3 shaded in. And we end up with 4/6. So over here, 2/3 equals what? 4/6. So here, partially completed for you. So we have, what do we start with? 1/3 plus 1/3 equals 2/3. Which that equals 1/6 plus 1/6, which is here, plus 1/6 plus 1/6, which is here, equals 4/6. Okay. So when we rewrite that, we have 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 equals 2 times 1/6, which is this part, plus 2 times 1/6 equals 4/6. Otherwise, we have 2/3 equals 4 times 1/6, which equals 4/6. Okay. So, let's look at the next one. They want us to divide the next one into tenths. So, what do we have to begin with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have fifths, and we have 2/5 shaded. So to divide this into tenths, we're just going to draw one line across. Now it becomes 4/10. So how do we show that 2/5 equals 4/10? Well, if I started out with my fifths, I had 1/5 plus 1/5 equals 2/5. I'm going to do it a little differently than they did at the top. I'm going to bring it down, and I'm going to say for this 1/5 we have 1/10 plus 1/10. And then for the other one we have 1/10 and 1/10 equals 4/10. I think this is a little bit easier to see when if you can match them up. So now I can say 2 times 1/10 plus 2 times 1/10 equals 4/10. Or I can combine them all and say 4 times 1/10 equals 4/10. Okay, so let's turn the page over and see what's on the back of this. I'm going to let you go ahead and do this on your own. So I'll start you off. We have 3/4. We need to divide it into 12ths. In order to divide 4ths into 12ths, we need to divide this into 3 boxes. So now we have 12ths. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 12ths. So I want you to show me 3/4 equal to 9 12ths using the distributive property. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and continue to do that. Okay, I went ahead and did this problem for you, so if you want to pause it, you can go ahead and check your work. I'm going to move on to number 2. Let's move that paper out of the way. So number 2, draw area models to show the decomposition. Let me make this a little bigger. Draw area models to show the decomposition represented by the number sentences below. Sometimes these directions are really hard to understand, but we need to kind of piece them out. So we know what an area model is. Decomposition is breaking it apart. And the number sentence is this thing right here. Express each as a sum and product of unit fractions. Use parentheses to show the relationship between the number sentences. So we're going to first draw the area model. We're starting with 3/5. So we're going to break this up into 5 horizontally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to shade in 3/5. So we can call this 3/5. Now we need to make it into tenths. We draw a line across. Now we have 10 spots. So 3/5 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tenths. Okay. Now we need to express that as a sum of and a product. So to express as a sum, we have 3/5 equals 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5. Or we can say 3/5 equals, in parentheses, we have 1/10 plus 1/10 plus, which is right here, 1/10 plus 1/10, which is here, plus 1/10 plus 1/10, which is here. And that equals, let me slide that over a little bit, that equals 6/10. To write it as a multiplication problem now, we have 3/5 equals, if we did this one as a multiplication problem, we'd have 3/5 equals 3 times 1/5, right? We did that in the last lesson. So now we have 3/5 equals 2 times 1/10 plus 2 times 1/10